So currently, connectivity is a fad. Everybody is looking to connect, and is also because of the global economic situation at present, that neighbors are turning towards neighbors to connect and to reap benefits. When we say like BRI, I think the need of the hour for India would be to actually, before joining any connectivity initiative, it would need to, before joining or before advancing any connectivity initiative, it would need to figure out for itself the benefits and the losses, the advantages and disadvantages. Regarding BRI, I think it is now widely understood that it's not just a trade and economic initiative, that it is being marketed as China's solution to the global economic problem and the slow pickup in trade and growth across the world at present. And of course, when BRI comes into the equation, we can't forget that it is a unilateral proposition by China, and the India-China equation, as always, has to be factored in, which is not only about the economics but also about the politics, which is, even if you only think economically, it will also need to be about the specific gains that India the economic gains that India will make by joining BRI. So it's not a simple, it can't be blanketed under any connectivity initiative, cannot be blanketed under the, as together. Each must be looked at specifically to what they are and what response that they then deserve. So basically, India, in fact, some may even say that India thinks more in terms of security, sometimes at the detriment of economic and other gains. But here the answer is, it's pretty clear if we look at the map, because of India's location and because of the result of geography and history, it neighbors both Pakistan and China. And BRI it has the flagship program of BRI is the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which represents a tightening or a rapprochement of China and Pakistan, both in terms of at the political level, at the economic level, but also in terms of the ground infrastructure, which can result in a strategic sense of insecurity for India. In fact, some people have pointed out that the railroads that are being refurbished along the route, because the CPEC is a series of routes, stretches of different points across Pakistan. Some of them are actually routes that facilitate military transportation. On the maritime front, we have a sense of increased encirclement because China is investing in port infrastructure or other projects along Indian Ocean region countries. So the string of pearls is what it used to be known as, which is now, one could even say, it's the Maritime Silk Road. One portion of that region remains the string of pearls infrastructure, basically. Yeah. So so that is how geographically it's India is feeling constrained on both land and maritime. So India is interested in, it has been pursuing connectivity projects for a while with its neighbors, and recently successful projects have been implemented with Bangladesh, for instance. And it also has a broader development cooperation agenda that it is pursuing. So now if this is considered vis-a-vis, or if this is taken, if this is looked at in contrast to, for instance, China's Belt and Road Initiative, certain differences emerge in terms of qualitative differences emerge in terms of how India would want to or is looking to push forward its connectivity projects. So a key example is, for instance, China's characterization of its Belt and Road as a trade and investment project. Therefore, it is mercantile in nature, even without its negative connotations, it is about trade and investment and financial instruments, financial connectivity. When we talk about India's attempt to create a different narrative, it is looking at people-centric connectivity. In fact, that is a phrase that the Indian Foreign Secretary used very recently for a project that it is engaging with, an initiative that it is engaging with Japan, the Asia-Africa Growth Corridor. So clearly there's an impetus, there's a motivation here, and there's a space here that India is capitalizing upon to push forward a narrative that is closer to what India believes in, as well as what is more likely to be picked up by countries. Open consultative approach, transfer of technology and skills, transparency, good governance principles, all of those combined is something that we can imagine India pushing forward as a platform for its connectivity projects.